everybody. It's Linda G coming to you from Northern California, and I'm here with Mel.
Hey,
Mel Doerr. How you doing, sweetie?
I'm good. How are you?
We got messed up, I think, because of the funeral I had to go to last week.
Yeah, last week we didn't do it because you had to go to your uncle's funeral. So
Yeah.
we just did it this week.
Yeah.
I have to give you credit. A lot of people were kind of upset because Biden stepped down. But I remember you had predicted a long, 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 long time ago, probably before I even started my channel.
Yeah.
That you saw during Biden's second term, him stepping down and him handing the reins over to Kamala.
She'd be the first president of the United States.
And you were right about it. The timeline was a little off, and it
was the second term, but it would have been his second term, but she took place of the second term.
Correct.
And I forgot about that when he stepped down. I'm like, what? Because I think he would have won. I really do. Because more stuff is coming out about Trump, especially in September, and he's going down.
I had seen, the same thing, but you predicted it first. And I had also seen that I said a woman or the women will take him down, but you said it before any of us did.
Well, a woman, the thing is that we always thought it was Ivanka because there was so much emotion behind it.
Well, I kind of thought it was Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, no, it was because there was so much emotion behind it. So I thought it was somebody that really hurt his feelings. But if you think about it, a black, smart, beautiful woman beats him. You saw already how he couldn't handle Obama ever being president.
My God.
Can you imagine a black woman beating him? Oh, God.
It's funny. In the beginning, when Biden stepped down, I predicted that he would stay in the race. And then 3 hours later, he said it was staying in the race. And we all got beat up because of it. But that's bad.
But he said it and we believed him. And he really meant it when he said it.
Correct. And that's the energy we were hooked into. But, in the beginning, I was a little nervous because I think, the vice president, they stay, I don't want to say in the shadows, but they don't come forward a lot.
No, they never do. You never saw Vance.
As soon as Biden endorsed her, my fears changed. And I'll tell you what I felt and what I feel. It's like when I first saw Obama as a senator and he was thinking of running for president, and they said he didn't have any presidential experience. I had this wonderful, wonderful feeling that Obama was going to be our next president. And when I saw Aretha Franklin in concert years ago and Michelle Obama was there, and I shook her hand and I said, "Your husband will be president." She looked at me like I had three heads. And that was years before he even thought of being president. The bottom line is I had that wonderful energy about Obama winning. I have the same energy about Kamala.
Okay.
It's just that feeling that she can take this. She's got to.
Well, back when we didn't know who was going to take it. And I saw a gray-haired man. I thought it might be Bloomberg.
Right.
And I saw this gray-haired man. And remember, he was doing terrible in the debates. Biden was. And I was looking, and then one day I saw the white light around him, like angelic energy. And I said, it's him. It's Biden. Biden is the one that's going to win.
So I get that same energy around Kamala that I got around Obama. And, with Biden, I knew he would win. I was a little nervous. I remember election night, you and I were talking.
We were both nervous.
We were both nervous. But, then I thought, well, if she picks Buttigieg, is the country really ready? I'm not saying she'll pick Pete Buttigieg, but is the country ready for a woman of color and a gay vice president? But then I started watching him on YouTube. And I want to tell you something. He held his own against Marjorie Taylor Greene, against those MAGA Republicans. He holds his own.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get rattled. I'm not saying she'll pick him, but I think he'd be phenomenal. I also think Josh Shapiro would be excellent.
Yeah.
I got a funny feeling those two might be in the top of her mind right now. I'm not saying she'll pick them, but that's what.
Yeah, but it's interesting because somebody said to me today, well, Josh Shapiro is Jewish. And I said, and her husband is Jewish.
So
her husband's Jewish.
So who cares?
Yeah. And just your maggots care.
Right. Well, the MAGAs do. But you know what? We were talking about this last night at dinner, and everybody was uptight about what Trump is saying and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, everybody, shift the energy away from Trump. And that's exactly what's going on in the media, and Trump can't handle it.
Oh,
They're
they aren't
shifting.
talking about him like they used to.
Correct. They're talking about Kamala, and they're talking about vice presidential picks, and they're talking about what a you know what JD Vance is, and blah, blah, blah. And Trump and his whole campaign was geared around beating Biden. And now that Kamala is the presidential contender, they don't know what to do.
And
And the
she made
remarks
100 million in the first day of announcing.
and the remarks they're making about her are inciting people that much more
Yeah,
not to vote for Trump. But I told everybody, Trump's base will be Trump's base. Let's don't worry about them. What we need to focus on is keeping this energy and this momentum going for Kamala. And I haven't been this excited since Barack Obama. I was excited for Biden, yes, but this is really exciting.
right, right. Well, listen, she also don't listen to the polls, you guys, not yet, because the polls are showing a dead heat in some. I'm telling you, she's way ahead.
But think about it this way. A week ago, she was a little behind Trump, and now it's a dead heat, and she's gonna take way over.
Because
You know,
they don't talk to the youth. The youth are the ones that are coming out in droves.
and the women, and I've even talked to Republican women, and they're not voting for Trump.
No,
So everybody, if you don't vote, that's a vote for the opposition. You have to get out there and vote. Our democracy
exactly.
depends on it. And I default back to what I saw at Lincoln's tomb. Our union shall prevail, our democracy shall prevail, and justice shall prevail. However, it came through, and I default back to that.
Yeah, you heard it in your
I
mind's
heard
eye.
it. Correct. So here we are.
Awesome.
So we have a lot of questions
We
today.
sure do. We got a little limited time because I have to go to the dealership. They're adding something to my car. So, you want to pick the first question?
Well, they're from yours, but
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, give me 1 second. Let me just get to them again. I lost my place. Okay. This is a good one. Mike Kopperick says, why wasn't Beto considered for vice president? That's a question.
Why wasn't he considered?
Correct.
Well, she's looking for someone who's in charge of a state already.
And
She's
I think
looking
she's
for
also
someone
looking,
like Shapiro.
but I do feel when she wins, okay, that she's going to keep an eye on Beto and thinking about putting him in a high level government position.
I do too. I do too.
I've often saw him in a high level government position. So, yay.
So, but it's nothing against Beto. He's working hard in Texas. 45 million announcement. Everybody's talking about this, but it's like, why do people even believe a word he says? Get out the vote, because the next time you won't have, that'll be the last time you have to do this. What do you think of that? I think it's bull. I call bull.
I think it's BS. I do. I just think it's Trump's rhetoric, and you don't have to vote because I'm going to be president, and then things are going to be great, and you won't have to worry about it. It's just
So
Trump.
yeah,
You know,
he's an idiot. But
I'm
I'd
not.
love to know, I gotta ask you something really quick. Is he gonna get rid of Vance?
He's going to think about it. He's already thinking about it
Yeah.
because Vance
He's
won't kick the
blaming him for his polls and not getting money and stuff.
correct. Well, he blames everybody. But if he got rid of JD Vance and put somebody else in there, it would be a worse pick than Vance. And he would do it just to satisfy the MAGAs. But, you know, um, I don't think he'd pick Nikki Haley. If he did, I'm still whatever.
I don't know if
Um,
she would do it, actually.
Vance is not going to give up. I can tell you that. Trump will have to get rid of him. And Trump is thinking of it, yes.
Yes, I felt he was thinking of it, but I felt he was kind of stuck with him.
And that's what I'm thinking. I think the strategists are just telling him you're stuck with it. So, anyway,
Go ahead with your question.
okay. Well, we've already asked it. How long will it take Trump to dump JD Vance?
Okay.
You say they know it's coming. But remember this, if he gets rid of JD Vance, intuitively I feel he'd put somebody in there that's even worse. So
Let me look. Will Trump dump JD Vance? Yes or no? I'm using the ethereal cards. Let me pick 3. He's thinking of it for sure.
he's thinking of it. I know that.
Knight of Cups. Ooh, 4 swords. Trump may get sick before all this happens. He may be lying with the coffin or lying in a hospital bed.
It's funny you said that because once again, I'm seeing dark clouds around his head area, which always would mean illness. Um, hmm. I think behind closed doors, he and Vance are going to be going at it. And at some point, he's going to be publicly discrediting Vance. I see that.
Okay.
But here again, he's thinking of getting rid of Vance. I pulled the 6 of clubs, which means a disagreeable surprise.
Yeah, it may get to where the polls are really showing he's going to lose and he wants to get rid of Vance. He's blaming Vance.
But if he gets rid of Vance like 100 days before the election and after the Democratic convention, he's going to say, well, the Democrats got rid of Biden, I can get rid of Vance.
Yeah.
But it's really going to be even more political suicide for Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
and it doesn't matter because he's going to lose. Period.
Correct. I'm telling you, if he gets rid of Vance, the person he puts in there will be much worse.
Okay.
And I think a lot of Democrats behind the scenes are hoping that he doesn't win. And I'm sorry, a lot of Republicans behind the scenes are hoping that he doesn't win. And I've got a funny feeling a lot of Republican women are going to switch their vote to Kamala.
They're already doing it right now.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay.
I see an end to these white, old, bigoted men who are MAGA running the country. And I see it coming soon.
This is the beginning of the change that's the awakening that's happening.
It really is.
Will Trigger Mike Johnson be removed as House Leader?
I'm sorry, say again.
Will Trigger Mike Johnson be removed as House Leader?
Well, I'll tell you something. This last time the Democrats saved his butt. Okay, because they said, no, leave Johnson alone, leave him in. And then right after that, he showed up at the Trump trial. He turned his back on the Democrats in a New York second. So my feeling is they are going to try to take him out again. And I see success at some point.
Well, the thing is, if somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene, because we're coming up to another budget, if she sees he's working on behalf of the budget that she doesn't like, she'll go take it up for a vote. But this time the Democrats will vote, yes, get rid of him.
That's right. That's right. That's what I see coming. But to do it before an election, they're crazy.
Yeah.
If they do it right before election, at some point, Hakeem will be speaker.
He will be.
It's going to be an excellent one.
Yeah.
So
now you got a question?
yes. This is a good one. Well, Julianne says, will the momentum that Democrats and Kamala Harris are getting right now last all the way through the November election?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Are there people that say they're going to vote for Trump and Republicans publicly, but behind the scenes they plan on going for Harris and Democrats? Yes.
Absolutely, especially
Yes,
the wives
yes,
of
yes.
these maggots. Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Will Colin Alred beat Ted Cruz in the Texas state?
I'm sorry, well, who beat who?
So I got the Ace of Cups, which means yes. With
I'm
the
sorry.
9 of Wands, it might be close or redone. Somebody's going to complain. And the 8 of Wands, that's news, happiness, bada bing, bada boom. When they might even question it, but then they're going to say, nope, he's in.
What was the question?
Will Colin Allred beat Ted Cruz?
I see Ted Cruz gone, and I see him defeated.
And I think Sterling said that too. He said that because I was upset. He said Beto wasn't going to win.
And then he can go back to, and then Ted Cruz can go back to Cancun.
There you go. Hey, real quick, what do you think about what's happening in Venezuela? That guy says that he won. I'm not seeing that go through.
You know, I learned Spanish in Venezuela. And when I was in college, my roommates were from Venezuela, and I went there back in the 70s when it was still a democracy. And I had predicted back then that at some point Venezuela would once again have a dictatorship. And they're like, no, we're a democracy. I said, okay. And here we are. I think they're going to be close to civil war in Venezuela. And I see Maduro overturned.
Okay, good.
Uh, and I see
They're
the
going to
opposition.
recount all the votes.
They'll recount the votes, but that doesn't mean anything because Maduro controls all of that. But I see at some point the generals and the public, everybody turning against Maduro.
Good.
And at some point, I'm telling you, he's going to be overturned. And I see a president in there, like one that's in El Salvador, who will crack down on violence, who will work on bringing the Venezuelan economy where it should be because they have oil. They
Yeah,
just didn't know what to do with it. And I see Venezuela once again becoming a Venezuela libre, a free Venezuela.
good,
So,
good.
and it's very near and dear to me because that's where I learned Spanish, and I spent almost a month there years ago. It's a beautiful country, pero ahorita es malo allá, pero yo creo que una democracia is going to be there again. I said it's a beautiful country, and I foresee a democracy being there again.
Awesome, awesome. So,
That's to my people, de mis amigos and mis amigas in Venezuela. Uh, uh, to my friends in Venezuela, buena suerte, good luck, and keep up the fight against the
hey,
dictator.
they're rallying, I'll tell you right now.
Oh, they ain't seen anything yet.
If Trump was in office, he'd try to pull that, but he can't because he's not in office.
That's right.
So, do you want the next question?
Yes. Let's see. Unstoppable says there's a rumor or suggestion once VP Harris wins the election that Trump will take to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court will rule in Trump's favor. I'm sure he'll take it to the Supreme Court, but I don't think they're going to overturn the election.
I don't because they know their ass is on grass.
Correct.
They
Correct.
know that if they do that, they're in trouble.
But that brings me
The
to a
emperor,
point.
this is the God judgment. No, he will not make it.
But that brings me to a point, and I read it this morning, that Biden is calling for SCOTUS term limits, and we'd all predicted that, and ethics rules, we'd all predicted that. He's calling for a constitutional amendment limiting presidential immunity, a move which would reverse the recent SCOTUS
All this will
decision.
happen. It might not be till Kamala's in, but
That's what I was going to ask. It's not going to happen right now with the current
no,
House.
but they know this is knocking on their door.
That's right. That's
And
right.
when they see the amount that she wins by, they know Biden, Trump can't come in and act like king for a day because they're all already counting the days till they get kicked out.
Well, the thing is that I see the Democrats taking back over the House and the Senate by a bigger majority. And so with what's going on with the current way things are, they never get that constitutional amendment to the House. I forget what it takes, 60% or more, 2/3 to get an amendment to the Constitution. But it'll be a battle cry for the Dems in order to unify voters to vote Democratic. Remember what this SCOTUS has done. We need to win. And the Democrats, especially Kamala, is going to start talking about Biden's accomplishments, and I had predicted this, and also saying that your candidate has 34 felony convictions. Your candidate has done this. Your candidate has done that. And she's playing on it already, and she's going to continue to play on it.
Oh yeah. I know his type.
Oh, he is pooping in his pants.
He's pissed because a woman's showing him up and a black
That's
woman
right.
to top it all up.
That's right.
So will Debbie Marcazo Powell beat Rick Scott for Florida seat?
Well, who?
Debbie Marcazo Powell beat Rick Scott. It's 43-42 right now. She's in favor by 1.
She's a Democrat, right?
Yeah.
I feel like she can take it if she campaigns.
You know, the last time he put a lot of money in on it, and he only won by 0.12%. He didn't win by hardly anything. And he's a cheater, you know.
A lot of people don't like him. I see a lot more coming out about him that's going to change his popularity.
3 cups celebration. So I would say yes.
That she's going to win.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. Okay, let's see here. Let me get back to my questions. My phone keeps going off. All right. Ilhan Omar in Minnesota is going through a Democratic primary in August with the same challenger the last time, Don Samuels. Will he defeat her this time?
I feel her comfortable in her seat, which means like they're not going to be able to get her out. That's what I'm getting.
That's what I think. I see the woman. I could be wrong, but that's what I feel.
Page of Cups, yeah, she wins. Maybe not by a lot, but she wins.
Okay, your turn.
Will there be any GOP reps from the House step down before the November election?
If there are, it might just be maybe one, but after the election, I see at least
Rats jumping from the ship.
you got it. I see at least, why do I think 5? I could be wrong, but I see 5 of them gone.
Ooh, well, a lot of them are in trouble. They already got the subpoenas. Jack Smith has them in a safe, rest to go.
He's not going to do anything too much until after the election, Jack
No,
Smith.
he knows this too.
But I can tell you right now, Loose Cannon's decision is going to be overturned by the 11th.
Oh yeah, and she's going to be taken out.
Absolutely. All right. Your turn, I think. No,
your turn.
My turn. Okay. Lisa G says, hi, Linda and Mel. Will DeJoy finally be voted out before he can interfere with Mel votes? Yay.
Yes, because they're putting in what's her name, but she's going to go through a little rough patch getting in there, but she'll get in there. You know, Biden couldn't just get rid of him, but he'll be gone before the November election is what I heard.
That's what I feel. And I think he's smart enough this time not to try any shenanigans. And whoever takes over is going to come public and say what a shambles that he did the United States Postal Service.
Will there be an investigation about Ronnie Jackson's drugs giveaway when Trump was in the White House?
I see an investigation, yes. I don't know if it's about that, but I see an investigation. And I see him being charged formally as a result of that investigation.
Yeah, something's going to happen to him. He had some bad cards. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Ooh. This is a good one. Will Taylor Swift specifically, her fan base, to go out and vote? Will she shame Charlie Kirk for treating her and many other women the way he does? I see Taylor Swift being really, really vocal and helping a lot.
Yeah, I heard her and Beyonce is supposed to do a concert.
They will. They will. I even think one of them is going to write a song about it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
They're, you know, Beyonce and her husband, they loved Obama. And so I think they'll even be at the big, when she gets, you know, poor Biden couldn't really have the party of being president. Remember, they even locked him out of the White House.
I know, it was horrible.
No one was there to meet him because poopy butt.
What they did to him was terrible. But you know, Biden, when I heard him speak his speech, he was very presidential, and he's going to continue to do everything he can until he's not president any longer.
And he's on it now.
Oh, he's totally on it.
Can I tell you though something? I really felt like a relief, like he was glad he didn't have to hit the road, because that's very hard. I'm exhausted and I'm 70. I can't even imagine what he feels like.
When I saw his speech, I had a tremendous sense of relief coming from him. In other words, like, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm going to do it until I'm out of office, but then I don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's still going to be a powerful force in the Democratic Party. He's not going to give up. Okay. We've answered this already. Let's see, no more Drumpf, it says. Does SCOTUS have plans to help the Reds legally steal the election.
Yeah, but
I'm
they're getting the heat right now.
right. I'm sure the Trump people have talked to him behind the scenes, and I'm sure there's a few who have made up their mind already, but the rest of them aren't going to jump on that bandwagon.
They love, this is the group that told Trump no 60 some odd times about the election being rigged. No, no, no. He was so mad at Kavanaugh. They presented it to Kavanaugh said no, and he said, that idiot, I did this for him and I did that for him. But they still said no.
It's funny. The only reason Clarence Thomas came forward with that message he gave about, well, it's unconstitutional because Jack Smith didn't work for the DOJ. He wasn't appointed correctly. That was the message to Cannon.
Yeah.
But essentially what he was doing is using that as a litmus test because they're calling for the DOJ to appoint a special prosecutor to investigate him, and I think Alito. And Clarence Thomas, that was his way of trying to get out of it.
Right, but then they were all over Hunter Biden with their
Right.
own, yeah,
Exactly.
they gave them someone, and they weren't complaining about that one.
Correct. So that was just, that was Clarence Thomas trying to finagle his way out of being investigated and prosecuted. Mark my words, he's going to be investigated and prosecuted.
Will Trump be accused of violating the Logan Act? Not until
Yes, but I
after
don't
he
know.
loses bigly.
Yes, but I don't know where it'll go, but he'll be,
There's
yes.
so many things they're gonna hit him on. That's not one of their main concerns.
Exactly. It's kind of like, what is going to carry more clout and what do we choose to prosecute? Because there's so much.
Right.
And I see him prosecuted on more counts. So
Okay. You go ahead.
will the Democrats have a majority to codify Roe v. Wade in 2025?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Okay.
I've been saying this for years.
It's your turn. Go ahead, Linda.
Will we have a supermajority in the Senate and or House? People ask the same questions, but they just need they need someone to say, don't worry. And yes, I see that we do have the majority.
It'll be a majority. I don't know if it's a super majority, but this time, whenever the Dems have the majority in the House and the Senate and the presidency, they invariably screw it up. But this time they will not. This time they're going to get their heads together. They're going to be vocal, and they're going to take the offensive as opposed to the defensive, and they're going to get a lot of positive changes done.
I just got the weirdest hit, and I'll just say it out loud right now. I don't know if it's true. And as you guys know, I have seen Trump in a coffin from the very beginning when he got into office. And his cards are so bad, and Andre is definitely showing the aspects being bad. I just saw all the breaking news that Donald Trump has crossed.
When you said that, I've got cold chills and I hear a yes. My guides have been telling me for the last couple of years that he's got to watch his health because I see dark clouds around his head area. It wasn't the shrapnel. That was not a bullet, by the way. And then I saw the thing in his ear. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It might even be after he gets hit by Judge Marchand in September, but something like almost either he's going to disappear, he's going to take off, or he's going to just one day not make it. It feels like a stroke.
But let's hope that it's not before the election, because then we don't know.
I know, because then he'll be idolized.
Right. I think it's kind of.
I saw the breaking news, and it could be after the election, but it's almost like this year.
That's what I think. I hope it's after the election, because then you don't know who they would put in there. But I got a funny feeling it's after the election.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a good one. And I've thought of this before. Callie Comenos says, how dangerous will the November election results be contested by Republican? Dems, of course, will be victorious. Trump will try shenanigans.
But he's not going to get the people. He tried shenanigans when he went to jail, or not jail, when he went in and they were arresting him. Come, you guys got to come, and they didn't show up.
Well, he'll try legal shenanigans like taking it to SCOTUS, this and that, but he's not going to win. You know, my guides keep telling me it'll appear as if they won a few battles. And that's exactly what's been happening. But they will not win the war. And this shift in the tide is shifting away from Donald Trump. And there's nothing that he's going to be able to do to bring it back to him. I'm telling you.
Well, here's a good question. Will Kamala pardon Hunter Biden?
Joe Biden won't, because he does everything by the book, and he's not going to do anything.
I think she's going to do it.
Joe Biden won't, because he's not going to do anything that would take any votes away from Kamala. But
Yeah.
when Kamala is in office, when she wins, not if she wins, the answer is yes, she will. She's going to pardon him.
Yeah.
And then the Trump people are, oh, she pardoned him. Well, hello, look who Trump pardoned. Arpaio, Bannon, all the thugs and crooks. And by the way, they're going to end up in jail too. So good.
Also, he had his son help him, his son-in-law, Jared, who even said on TV when they were talking to him about the insurrection, I was too busy dealing with pardons. So they were taking the highest bidders to give them.
That's true. They were. I think it's going to be shown that they took money for it that went in Trump's pocket. People bought those pardons, which if they could be making those pardons illegal. And at some point, some of those pardons will be termed to be illegal.
Yeah. So you got
so many battles out there. You got to kind of pick and choose.
Right. Exactly.
All right. We'll dim Alyssa Slotkin win Michigan Senate seat. Thank you both so much. I see a Democrat in that seat.
Yeah, I think she'll win.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Equus says, what executive action will Biden take before he ends his term? What executive actions? Do you see a lot of executive actions?
I see numerous ones.
Okay.
Things at the border. I see a stimulus check right before the election. Yay. Or something to get people to vote. You know, he's going to try to get this thing passed with SCOTUS. It won't go through this time, but at least it'll set the momentum.
Right.
And everything he was working on.
Yeah, but he can do an executive action, doesn't need the Congress, doesn't need them. He can do an executive action so he can do something with SCOTUS. He has no immunity. Well, he has immunity based on SCOTUS, but he can turn around and say, okay, Thomas, you're out of here, but he won't do that. But he can do executive actions to really upset the SCOTUS.
And he will.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. This is a good question. Laura Wright asked, will Kamala be sworn in on January the 6th?
Yes.
I say too. I understand.
Well, no, it's not till January 20th, right? January 6th was the big.
Oh, January 6th is when they certify the votes. Yeah.
When they certify.
Well, she's going to win. And she's going to win the electoral votes too. Trump will try to mess with that, but
who's he going to use? Mike Johnson? She's the overseer of the Senate.
There you go.
Listen, when he loses, mark my words, when he loses, and he'll lose good. No, whoever's in there, if it's JD Vance or whoever, it'll make because remember they always been saying Republicans like the senator that lost her job because she went up against Trump.
Oh,
Cheney.
She
said a lot of Republicans tell her they can't stand him, but they're stuck.
Right. That's right.
So what will happen is if he loses by a big enough amount, they're jumping off that ship. They won't give him any. He's
going to lose huge. And, you know, this momentum for Kamala is going to keep going and growing and growing. And Trump's not handling it well. Yeah. And, you know, he's going to melt down and make stupid.
He's already upset because she's making so much damn money.
Well, you know what? He's never going to be able to raise that kind of money. I think JD Vance is trying to get the large corporate donors to vote for Trump. But here's what I say. if those corporate donors vote for Trump and put money toward Trump, then all of us should boycott those products. And I see Americans saying, we're mad, we're not buying those products. And those big companies that might have supported Trump, they're going to lose a lot of money.
There you go.
That's what I see happening.
Look what we already did to George Clooney. He's not going to be able to get anybody to see his movie. Look what we already did to MSNBC and CNN. They're dropping like crazy with the viewers.
I mean, that's what's going to happen with that other channel who's a propaganda arm for Trump.
Yeah.
Whose name I won't mention. But yeah, there's a lot coming down. And a lot of people are going to be boycotting. You know, we're taking our power back, as we should.
As we should.
And
you hear
Trump
that, women? Okay, so will Donald Trump actually be sentenced on September 18th?
I see a sentence.
Okay, let me look real quick.
And he's not going to like it.
No, I see him being very upset.
He's going to come out, it's a witch hunt, it's this.
Yeah, but they're not going to rally and start voting for him because of it.
Correct. And Kamala can use that, and she will.
Card, the tower, he's going to be shocked.
Oh, it's going to be like.
He's going to be shocked.
I pulled the 3 of hearts, which means it's not a good card.
I get the 10 of pentacles. He'll probably get charged some money too.
He is. Money. I keep seeing the state of New York going after him because that was a civil case, but I see them going after him criminally.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, Magical Lonnie says, I like that name. What are the conservative Supreme Court justices feeling about their absolute immunity decision now that Kamala is a presumptive nominee and Biden has 6 months left to take advantage of his new powers?
Listen, they already know they're in trouble. I see that Ginny Thomas going in circles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Clarence doesn't get it. Clarence thinks he knows he's scared because that's.
Well, listen, I always saw him like this. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? And now I see him actually worried.
He is worried. That's why he said that thing about Smith, that, oh, he was appointed inappropriately. And he sent a note to Cannon. So that.
Yeah, but that's illegal for him to do that. He's only supposed to stick with what they were looking at.
That right there is grounds to have her decision turned over on appeal, and it will be.
Right.
Okay. All right. Your turn.
Is it possible someone or some entity is targeting this community of wonderful psychics? You and Mel and Andre and Kim from Intuitive View have all been targeted with vile comments that are undeserved. Do these entities want to break down the community? Oh, hell yeah, they're bots. A lot of them have an address that links to Russia even. But the good news is I have a guy named Dan that I pay per video, and I don't even look at the comments till he's done with it. And he gets rid of all of them and will block the people that have nasty things to say.
And I also have Dan reading mine, but what happened was I put on my community board after Biden stepped down that people could air their frustrations, and I got that. But there were some really bad comments that I took down on my own. But I was doing a live show and somebody called me an effing fraud, and it rattled me. But the more I thought about it, I thought, you know what? I pulled my pants down and saw the ring around my butt from sitting on the pity pot. And I'm thinking, nobody is going to force me to give up my YouTube channel. I'm going to keep doing it. And then I got mad at myself thinking I gave that idiot way too much power. 2 days of my life.
I know. And yeah, you were hurt, but that's ego.
I was hurt. And I was like,
that's ego. When we get hurt, it's all only ego.
It was. But we still get hurt.
Yeah. But I just don't even care anymore. From the beginning when I started my YouTube channel, oh, and then you get your Christians up there that you're doing the devil's work and all that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
But the other thing is, you know, some people have commented that we shouldn't delete negative comments and nasty comments. Yes, we should.
Do your own channel and let them say what they want to say. On my channel, you'll be deleted. That's how it is. I know Marianne, she warns everybody, be careful what you're saying, because if you get real nasty, you're going to be deleted.
And that's exactly what I've instructed Dan to do on mine. You
That's
know,
unfortunate. I don't mind constructive criticism, but also you can't tell someone what to do. Obviously, whatever format I'm doing is working because even though have to delete a lot of the cray craze, I'm still past 80,000 subscribers.
and
So,
when I see you going past 100,000 by the end of this year,
and
beginning
that's
of,
okay. I mean, if that happens, that's cool. But the main thing is, if I was dropping like crazy, I'd say, well, obviously something I'm doing is upsetting people, but people just want the truth. They don't need you to ruffle it up or put a big, and if you're wrong, you admit you're wrong. And I found that very good. They're very loving. The people that watch me and you, oh my God, so compassionate, so sweet.
I always admit that I'm wrong when I'm wrong. We can't be 100%
We can't
right.
be 100%. Well,
But
even my interpretation that he would hand the baton to Kamala
sometimes
was
we
in two. I didn't realize it meant in the second term, she will take his second term.
but sometimes we
Gonna
read
win.
the energy that's going on. The thing is, I think, you say positive criticisms. I like to call it positive suggestions. But a lot of people then become nasty under the guise of a positive criticism. That's
Oh,
nasty.
I've had a lot of that, the holier than thou type. You need to say it this way. You need to do this. You know what? You need to start your own channel and do your thing because I do my thing. I am who I am.
Right, me
If
too.
I mispronounce, I mispronounce.
Yeah.
Somebody said, oh, it's how disrespectful, Pete Bootylicious. That's who I am.
I like it actually.
And I can't help it when I called
I love it. You know,
I called different people different names.
if somebody, you know, let me say that I'm very, very thankful for all of our kind, wonderful, loving supporters. They
Oh,
are,
they're wonderful. They really fill you up.
and they far outweigh the few that put up the nasties.
Yeah, and they're just scared. A lot of people are scared. They just want to be, they want to know, okay, all I need to know is it going to be okay? Now, if I suddenly felt, oh, you guys, a Democrat won't win it and it's going to be, no, I would have told you. I never saw Biden. I saw Biden stepping down. I just didn't realize it would be this soon. But I did see him stepping down and handing the baton. But he had just got done telling everybody, I'm in this.
Right, right. So the bottom line is, a positive suggestion is fine. But if it's nasty and if it's mean-spirited, even under the guise of a positive suggestion, it will be removed
Yeah.
and banned from the channel. I'm not going to put up with the nasties. I want to focus my energy on the people that are positive, loving, caring.
And you don't have to be sunshine lollipops,
No,
but
no, no.
also don't hit someone I don't like people making a comment about other psychics.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
And I don't want to hear any comment about someone else's comment. You leave people alone.
I don't either. It's not like I'm being a Pollyanna or kumbaya. That's not my point. If you have a suggestion that you think will help or that if I'm wrong or something, call me out on it. But just keep it nice.
I mean, you're always kind to me too. Like when we first met, you said, Linda, underwear should go under the dress, not over the dress. Really, it's not a good look for you. What?
Wear the bra on the
You did
inside,
too?
not the outside, Mary.
I remember the nanny. I used to love that show when Franny was saying, "Ma, you picked me up at school with your girdle on the outside." It was so embarrassing.
We should do a show behind the scenes with Linda and Mel, but the problem is we'd have to censor it and every other word would be bleeped.
Yeah. Well, listen, my friend, it's been wonderful being with you. I'll see you next Monday on your channel.
Yes. Oh, I gotta say, please, 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 if you want to come to our event in September, we've only got 4 more openings. So call my office, 847-590-5411. We've only got 4 more openings, so it's first come, first serve at this point. So call.
I'm
All right.
looking forward.
And me too. I'm so excited. And also check out my call about my trip to Italian and French Riviera in May, Peru trip in September, Iceland trip in October. Infomercial done.
Awesome. All right, you guys, we love you. Thank you
Love
so
you.
much for your support. And just stand into the positive. Vibrationally, say this too shall pass. Don't wish ill will towards ex-President Trump. Put the white light around him. So whatever he puts out comes back on him. If he puts out good, a lot of good. If he puts out bad, it'll interrupt his stamina.
And can I just add one thing to that?
Sure.
Visualize a stapler on his mouth.
Shame on you. So, okay, you guys, we love you all. You
All right,
take care. Bye.